Sniper! Dude, you got shot.
I did get shot.
I saw it hit your Kevlar.
The headshot might look cool in movies, but in real-life sniping, it's often a mistake. Elite snipers don't just shoot. They outthink, outmaneuver, and outlast their targets. Let's dive into why the head isn't always the best target and how snipers perfect their deadly shot. The sniper's mindset: unraveling the mysterious art of decision-making. One shot, one kill. That's what they say. But behind that single bullet lies thousands of calculations, years of training, and split-second decisions that separate the elite from the ordinary. While most believe a sniper's job is simply to eliminate targets with a single, precise headshot, the reality unfolds like a complex military chess game. Before even setting foot on the battlefield, snipers must meticulously plan every aspect of their operation. They study the terrain, analyze weather patterns, and gather intelligence on their target's movements and habits. This preparation is crucial, as it allows them to anticipate challenges and adapt to changing circumstances on the fly. Once in position, the sniper's mind becomes a whirlwind of activity. They must constantly assess their surroundings, taking into account factors like wind speed, humidity, and even the Earth's rotation. These variables can have a significant impact on the trajectory of their bullet, and even the slightest miscalculation can mean the difference between a successful shot and a missed opportunity. But amidst all these technical considerations, there is one factor that looms larger than all the rest: the wind. This invisible force is the sniper's worst enemy, capable of turning a perfect shot into a disastrous miss in the blink of an eye. Snipers must become masters of reading the wind, using everything from grass to dust to gauge its direction and speed. They know that a gentle breeze can nudge their bullet off course by inches, while a strong gust can send it veering wildly away from the target. To combat this unpredictable foe, snipers must be able to think on their feet and make split-second decisions. They may need to adjust their aim at a moment's notice, or even abandon a shot altogether if the wind proves too erratic. This ability to adapt and improvise is what sets the best snipers apart from the rest. These split-second decisions and adaptations aren't instinctive. They're the result of some of the most intensive training the military world has ever designed. Mastering the art of the shot inside the elite world of sniper training. Becoming a sniper is not for the faint of heart. It requires a rare combination of physical prowess, mental discipline, and an unwavering commitment to the craft. Those who aspire to join the ranks of these elite warriors must undergo some of the most rigorous and demanding training in the military world. At the heart of this training is the U.S. Army Sniper Course, located at Fort Benning, Georgia. This grueling 7-week program is designed to push soldiers to their limits, both physically and mentally. From the moment they arrive, trainees are subjected to a relentless onslaught of challenges designed to test their endurance, their marksmanship, and their ability to perform under pressure. One of the most critical aspects of sniper training is learning how to stalk. This is the art of moving silently and invisibly through any environment, whether it's a dense forest or an urban battlefield. Trainees spend hours crawling through mud, hiding in bushes, and even covering themselves in camouflage netting to avoid detection. It's a painstaking process that requires patience, discipline, and an almost superhuman level of attention to detail. But stalking is just the beginning. Snipers must also master the art of long-distance shooting, a skill that requires an intimate understanding of ballistics, wind patterns, and the complex interplay of factors that affect a bullet's trajectory. Trainees spend countless hours on the shooting range, honing their aim and learning to make split-second adjustments based on variables like humidity, temperature, and even the rotation of the Earth. Perhaps most importantly, snipers must learn to gather intelligence and make quick, accurate decisions based on limited information. They are trained to observe their surroundings with a keen eye, picking up on even the smallest details that might give away an enemy's position or intentions. This skill is critical, not just for taking the shot, but for keeping themselves and their fellow soldiers safe in the heat of battle. All of this training culminates in a series of high-stakes tests that push trainees to their absolute limits. They must complete grueling ruck marches, navigate complex obstacle courses, and demonstrate their proficiency with a variety of weapons systems. Only those who can perform at the highest level under extreme stress and fatigue will earn the coveted title of U.S. Army Sniper. But even after graduating from the course, a sniper's training is far from over. They must continually hone their skills and adapt to new challenges, whether it's learning to operate in extreme weather conditions or mastering the latest advances in weapons technology. It's a lifelong pursuit of excellence that demands constant dedication and sacrifice. Beyond this perpetual training lies another layer of complexity, the precise science that determines whether a bullet hits its mark or misses by meters. The science behind the shot, mastering the physics of long-range shooting. When most people think of sniping, they imagine a lone shooter perched on a rooftop, peering through a scope and waiting for the perfect moment to take the shot. But the reality of long-range shooting is far more complex than this simple image suggests. To make a successful shot, snipers must have a deep understanding of the science behind their craft, from the intricacies of ballistics to the subtle effects of wind and gravity on a bullet's path. At the heart of this science is the concept of ballistics. This is the study of how a bullet behaves from the moment it leaves the barrel of a gun to the instant it reaches its target. Snipers must take into account a dizzying array of factors when calculating their shot, including the bullet's weight, shape, and velocity, as well as the twist rate of the rifle's barrel and the type of powder used in the cartridge. But ballistics is just the beginning. Once the bullet leaves the gun, it is subject to a host of external forces that can throw off even the most carefully calculated shot. Chief among these is wind, which can buffet a bullet off course by several feet over long distances. To account for this, snipers must be able to read the wind like a sailor reads the sea, using clues like the movement of grass, dust, or even distant mirages to gauge its speed and direction. Gravity, too, plays a critical role in long-range shooting. As a bullet travels through the air, it is constantly being pulled downward by the Earth's gravitational field. This means that snipers must aim slightly above their target to compensate for the bullet's drop over distance. The amount of adjustment required depends on a complex interplay of factors, including the bullet's velocity, the distance to the target, and even the air density and humidity. But perhaps the most mind-bending aspect of long-range shooting is the Coriolis effect. This is the phenomenon whereby the Earth's rotation causes moving objects to drift slightly off course. For a sniper, this means that a bullet fired due north will actually land slightly to the right of the target, while a bullet fired due south will land slightly to the left. The effect is small, but over extreme distances, it can make the difference between a hit and a miss. To master all of these complex factors, snipers rely on a combination of cutting-edge technology, and old-fashioned know-how. They use high-powered scopes and laser rangefinders to measure distances and account for bullet drop, while sophisticated ballistics calculators help them crunch the numbers and make split-second adjustments in the field. Yet even with all this advanced technology and precise calculation, the most counterintuitive aspect of sniping lies in the fundamental question: where to aim? Headshots versus center mass. The surprising truth about sniper targeting. In the movies, snipers are often depicted as cold-blooded killers, capable of taking out a target with a single, perfectly placed headshot from over a mile away. But the reality of sniper targeting is far more complex than this Hollywood myth suggests. In fact, most military snipers are trained to aim not for the head, but for the center mass of the body, a practice that may seem counterintuitive, but is actually grounded in solid tactical reasoning. This raises an intriguing question. Why do snipers avoid headshots in real life? The answer lies in the physics of long-range shooting. At distances of 1,000 yards or more, even the slightest variation in wind speed, humidity, or barometric pressure can throw off a bullet's trajectory by several inches. Add to this the fact that a human head is a relatively small and mobile target, and it becomes clear why headshots are often a risky proposition in real-world combat situations. By contrast, the center mass of the body presents a much larger and more stable target. The torso is home to many of the body's vital organs, including the heart, lungs, and liver, making it a highly effective place to aim for a quick and decisive kill. Moreover, the center of the chest is typically less prone to sudden movements than the head, which can be easily jerked or ducked out of the way in the heat of battle. However, the advantages of center mass targeting go beyond just the size and stability of the target. Aiming for the torso also allows snipers to take advantage of a phenomenon known as hydrostatic shock, whereby a high-velocity bullet creates a massive pressure wave that can cause catastrophic damage to internal organs even if the bullet itself misses the heart or other vital structures. This means that even a slightly off-center shot can still be highly effective at neutralizing a threat. There are some situations where a headshot may be the preferred option. In close-quarters combat or hostage situations, for example, a precisely placed shot to the head can be the quickest and most humane way to end a threat without endangering innocent bystanders. This is why police and SWAT snipers often train specifically for headshots, using specialized ammunition and shooting techniques designed for maximum accuracy and minimal collateral damage. Yet, precision targeting means nothing without mastering what many consider the sniper's most vital skill: becoming invisible. The sniper's ultimate weapon: camouflage and concealment. In the world of sniping, there's a saying that rings true: if they can see you, they can kill you. It's a harsh reality that every sniper must face, and it's why camouflage and concealment are arguably the most important tools in a sniper's arsenal. Without the ability to blend seamlessly into their surroundings, even the most skilled marksman is little more than a sitting duck. At the heart of a sniper's camouflage strategy is the ghillie suit. This bizarre-looking garment, with its shaggy, mop-like appearance, may seem like something out of a horror movie, but it's actually a masterpiece of design. The key to the ghillie suit's effectiveness lies in its ability to break up the recognizable curves and contours of the human body, making the wearer virtually invisible against a natural backdrop. But a ghillie suit is only as good as the sniper's ability to customize it for their environment. This is where the art of vegging up comes into play. Before each mission, snipers will painstakingly attach local vegetation, such as leaves, twigs, and grass, to their suits, creating a three-dimensional camouflage that blends perfectly with their surroundings. It's a time-consuming process, but one that can mean the difference between life and death in the field. Camouflage doesn't stop at the ghillie suit. Every aspect of a sniper's clothing and equipment must be carefully chosen to minimize the risk of detection. Buttons are used instead of zippers, as the metallic glint of a zipper can give away a sniper's position from hundreds of yards away. Even the face must be camouflaged, with snipers often using a combination of face paint and natural materials to create a mottled, irregular pattern that breaks up the distinctive shape of the human face. But perhaps the most impressive feat of camouflage is the way snipers are able to conceal their rifles. Using a combination of paint, tape, and natural materials, they can transform their weapons into an extension of their ghillie suits, making them virtually indistinguishable from the surrounding foliage. It's a level of attention to detail that borders on the obsessive, but it's a necessary part of the job for those who must operate unseen. All this meticulous concealment serves another purpose beyond just hiding. It enables two highly trained professionals to work as one deadly unit. Sniper teams, the crucial role of the spotter. Contrary to popular belief, snipers rarely work alone. In fact, the vast majority of sniper operations are carried out by teams of two or more individuals, each with their own specialized role to play. And while the shooter may get all the glory, it's the spotter who is often the unsung hero of the operation. So what exactly does a spotter do? In short, everything. From the moment the team arrives on the scene, the spotter is responsible for gathering and analyzing a vast array of information, from wind speed and direction to the location and movements of potential targets. Using a combination of high-powered optics and advanced calculation tools, the spotter must be able to provide the shooter with incredibly precise data on every aspect of the shot. But the spotter's job doesn't end there. Once the shooter is in position, the spotter becomes their eyes and ears, constantly scanning the environment for any potential threats or changes in conditions. They must be able to communicate this information quickly and clearly using a complex system of hand signals and verbal cues to ensure that the shooter always has the most up-to-date intelligence. In many ways, the spotter is the brain of the operation, while the shooter is the muscle. It's the spotter who makes the final call on whether to take the shot, based on a complex array of factors that the shooter may not even be aware of. And if the first shot misses, it's the spotter who must quickly calculate the adjustments and relay them to the shooter, all while keeping a cool head under immense pressure. This level of teamwork and communication doesn't come easily. Snipers and spotters train together for months, sometimes years, to develop the kind of intuitive understanding and trust that is essential for success in the field. They must be able to anticipate each other's needs and movements, working together seamlessly to achieve their objective. This hard-earned partnership mastery opens the door to what is actually a sniper team's primary mission, one that rarely involves pulling the trigger. Beyond the shot, reconnaissance and intelligence gathering. When most people think of snipers, they picture a lone gunman perched on a rooftop, waiting patiently for the perfect shot. But the reality of sniping is far more complex than this simple image suggests. In fact, shooting targets is just a small part of what snipers do, with reconnaissance and intelligence gathering making up the vast majority of their duties. It's a little-known fact, that snipers spend roughly 90% of their time in the field observing and reporting on enemy activity, rather than actually engaging targets. This is because snipers possess a unique set of skills and equipment that make them ideally suited for gathering critical intelligence in hostile environments. Using a combination of high-powered optics, advanced camouflage techniques, and incredible patience and discipline, snipers are able to infiltrate deep into enemy territory, often undetected. From their hidden positions, they can observe and record every detail of the enemy's movements, from troop positions and patrol routes to supply lines and communication networks. This information is then relayed back to military intelligence teams, who use it to build a comprehensive picture of the enemy's capabilities and intentions. Armed with this knowledge, commanders can make informed decisions about where to deploy their forces, when to launch attacks, and how to anticipate and counter the enemy's next move. But snipers' role in reconnaissance goes beyond just passive observation. In many cases, they are called upon to actively disrupt enemy operations, using their skills and equipment to create confusion and chaos behind enemy lines. This can involve anything from taking out key communication nodes to eliminating high-value targets, all with the goal of weakening the enemy's ability to fight. Of course, this kind of deep cover reconnaissance work is incredibly dangerous, requiring snipers to operate in hostile territory for days or even weeks at a time, with little or no support. They must be able to survive on their own, relying on their wits and training to avoid detection and stay one step ahead of the enemy. While ground-based reconnaissance is challenging enough, some snipers face an even more daunting arena: the open skies. Snipers in the sky. The challenges of aerial sniping. When it comes to sniping, most people imagine a solitary figure lying prone on a rooftop or hilltop, carefully lining up the perfect shot. But there's another type of sniping that takes place far above the ground, in the swirling chaos of a helicopter cockpit. This is the world of aerial sniping, and it's a specialty that requires a whole new level of skill, courage, and adaptability. At first glance, the idea of sniping from a helicopter might seem like a tactics straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster. But the reality is that aerial sniping has been a part of military operations for decades, with specialized units trained to engage targets from the air in a variety of scenarios, from counter-terrorism to urban combat. But make no mistake, aerial sniping is no walk in the park. Snipers who operate from helicopters face a host of challenges that their ground-based counterparts can only dream of. For one thing, they must contend with the constant motion and vibration of the aircraft, which can make it incredibly difficult to maintain a stable shooting position. Even the slightest movement can throw off a shot by several feet, making it essential for aerial snipers to have impeccable timing and reflexes. But the challenges don't end there. Aerial snipers must also deal with the added complexity of engaging targets at much shorter distances than their ground-based counterparts. While a typical ground sniper might engage targets from 1,000 yards or more, aerial snipers rarely have the luxury of such distance. Instead, they must be prepared to take shots from as little as 100 yards away, often while the helicopter is moving at high speed and the target is frantically trying to evade. To make matters even more complicated, aerial snipers must rely on the skill and coordination of the helicopter crew to get them into position and keep them there. The pilot, in particular, plays a crucial role in the success of any aerial sniping mission, as they must be able to anticipate the sniper's needs and make split-second adjustments to the aircraft's position and altitude to ensure a clear shot. Despite these challenges, aerial sniping remains an essential tool in the modern military arsenal. It allows commanders to project force and eliminate threats in situations where ground-based troops would be vulnerable or ineffective. Aerial snipers have been used to great effect in a variety of conflicts, from the jungles of Vietnam to the urban battlefields of Iraq and Afghanistan. But beyond these technical challenges of air and ground warfare lies perhaps the sniper's most potent weapon: fear itself. Psychological warfare, the mental impact of sniper operations. Imagine the terror of knowing that at any moment, an unseen enemy could strike from the shadows, ending your life before you even hear the shot. This is the reality that soldiers face when up against a skilled sniper team, and it's a terror that can have a devastating impact on morale and combat effectiveness. In many ways, the psychological impact of sniper operations can be compared to that of landmines or improvised explosive devices, IEDs. Both tactics rely on the fear of the unknown, the constant stress of knowing that death could come at any moment, from any direction. But while landmines and IEDs are indiscriminate, snipers are anything but. They are the epitome of precision, able to pick off high-value targets with a single shot, leaving the rest of the enemy force to wonder who will be next. This psychological toll can be immense, even for well-trained and battle-hardened soldiers. The knowledge that a sniper could be watching your every move, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, can be paralyzing. It can lead to a breakdown in unit cohesion, as soldiers become more focused on their own survival than on the mission at hand. And it can create a sense of helplessness and despair that can be almost impossible to shake. But it's not just the enemy who feels the mental strain of sniper operations. Snipers themselves often face unique challenges and stresses that can take a heavy toll over time. The sheer level of focus and discipline required to stay hidden and vigilant for hours or even days on end can be mentally and emotionally exhausting. The knowledge that each shot could mean the difference between life and death, not just for the target, but for the sniper's own team and fellow soldiers, can be a heavy burden to bear. Yet for all the mental strain snipers create, modern armies have evolved powerful methods to turn the tables on these invisible predators. Countering the sniper threat, tactics and technology. How do you fight an enemy you can't see? This is the question that military commanders have been grappling with for decades as they seek to counter the ever-present threat of enemy snipers. And while there's no one-size-fits-all solution, there are a range of tactics and technologies that have proven effective in reducing the sniper's deadly impact. One of the most basic countermeasures is to simply deny the sniper the opportunity to take a shot. This can involve everything from avoiding predictable patrol routes and movement patterns to using smoke and other obscurants to conceal troop movements. It can also mean taking steps to minimize the visual signatures that snipers rely on to identify high-value targets, such as removing rank insignia from uniforms or using subdued patches and badges. But sometimes, the best defense is a good offense. That's where counter-sniper teams come in, highly trained and equipped units whose sole mission is to hunt down and eliminate enemy snipers before they can strike. These teams typically operate in pairs, with one member acting as a spotter while the other takes the shot. They use a combination of advanced optics, thermal imaging, and other specialized equipment to locate and neutralize enemy snipers, often from distances of a mile or more. Another increasingly important tool in the counter-sniper arsenal is the drone. With their ability to provide real-time aerial surveillance and reconnaissance, drones have become invaluable for identifying and tracking enemy sniper positions. Some drones are even equipped with their own sniper rifles or other precision weapons, allowing them to take out enemy snipers from above without ever putting friendly forces at risk. However sophisticated these counter-sniper systems become, they're still chasing the capabilities of elite marksmen who've achieved seemingly impossible shots. The longest shot, sniper records, and legendary feats. In the world of sniping, distance is everything. The farther away a sniper can take out a target, the more valuable they become to their unit and their country. And over the years, there have been some truly incredible feats of long-range marksmanship that have pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible. One recent example came in November 2023 when a 58-year-old Ukrainian sniper named Vyacheslav Kowalski set a new world record by eliminating a Russian soldier from an astonishing distance of 2.3 miles. To put that in perspective, that's the equivalent of hitting a target from the top of the Empire State Building to the Statue of Liberty, a distance so vast that the bullet would have been in the air for nearly 9 seconds before reaching its mark. But Kowalski's shot is just the latest in a long line of legendary sniper feats. During the Vietnam War, U.S. Marine sniper Carlos Hathcock set a record that would stand for decades when he took out an enemy soldier from a distance of 2,500 yards. A shot so impressive that it earned him the nickname White Feather for the distinctive feather he wore in his hat. But beneath these extraordinary achievements lies an even more remarkable truth. Snipers are far more than just their legendary shots. The human side of sniping, remarkable stories from the battlefield. For all the talk of technology and tactics, it's easy to forget that at the heart of every sniper operation is a human being, a soldier with hopes, fears, and dreams just like anyone else. And over the years, there have been some truly remarkable stories of snipers who have gone above and beyond the call of duty, displaying incredible bravery, compassion, and humanity in the face of unimaginable danger. One such story is that of U.S. Army medic Stephen Chidera, who was shot in the chest by an Iraqi insurgent sniper while on patrol in Baghdad in 2005. Miraculously, Chidera survived the attack thanks to his body armor and was able to quickly locate and track down the sniper with the help of his fellow soldiers. But what happened next was truly extraordinary. After capturing the sniper, who had been wounded in the exchange of fire, Chidera made the decision to treat the man's injuries, despite the fact that he had just tried to kill him moments before. As soon as he puts the weapon down, "I have to treat him," Chidera later explained. "It's my job." It's a story that highlights the unique challenges and ethical dilemmas that snipers often face in the heat of battle. The need to make split-second decisions that can mean the difference between life and death, not just for themselves, but for those around them. It's a story that underscores the incredible bravery and humanity of the men and women who serve as snipers, often under the most difficult and dangerous conditions imaginable. But for all their skill and courage, snipers are not invincible. They are human beings with all the same fears and vulnerabilities as anyone else. And in the chaos of war, they face the constant risk of being captured, tortured, or killed by the very enemies they hunt. It's a risk that every sniper accepts when they take on the job, but it's one that can take a heavy toll over time. The constant stress and isolation of sniper work can lead to depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, conditions that can haunt snipers long after they leave the battlefield behind. Thanks for watching. and we'll see you in the next one.